Alright, problem number 3. It says triangle ABC shown below is a right triangle with altitude drawn to the hypotenuse BC, and the altitude is AZ. Alright, this is my altitude. So this I can see it's a big right triangle, right? This big right triangle here with two smaller ones contained within. Okay? So this is an ass and shell problem. Okay, and I'm going to leave the shell blank. It's either going to be shell 1 or shell 2. So I need to fill in, I need to label my diagram in order to do this problem. And we always start with the big right triangle. So I'm going to start with triangle ABC, and I'm going to label the hypotenuse. Well, here's the right angle, so that points us to the hypotenuse. Our hypotenuse is from B to C, and that hypotenuse is the sum of the two segments, 2 and 10. So our hypotenuse will be 12. Maybe I'll use that. I don't know. Well, if BC is my hypotenuse, well then these must be the legs. BA, and I'll call that leg 1, and AC. Sorry about that. And AC. Alright? That's leg 2. Well, if those are my legs, then these pieces here are my segments. And this will be segment 1, since that's leg 1. And this will be segment 2, since that's leg 2. And I've already listed my altitude, so now I'm ready to go. It says if BD is 2 and DC is 10, which we already got in there, what is the length of AB? And AB turns out to be my leg. Okay, so I'm going to set that equal to X, and I'm probably going to use shell 1, because I have segment 1, I have my hypotenuse, and I'm looking for leg 1, which is the last variable there. And so this will be a single variable. This will be easy to solve. Segment 1 is 2. My hypotenuse is 12. And that all equals leg 1, which I'm calling X, times itself. Right? So when I do this multiplication, I'm going to get 2 times 12, which is 24. And that's going to equal X squared. Well, to unsquare something, I square root. Okay, they'll cancel, and I'm going to square root this. So whenever they ask you to state the length, it's implied that it should be in simplest radical form, or it's just good form. So I'm going to simplify this radical. I know X equals the square root of 24. And I know that that split up is going to equal the square root of 4 times the square root of 6. Okay? 4 times 6 is 24. So I'm being clever because 4 is a perfect square. So when I go to evaluate that square root, I'm going to get 2 radical 6. 2 radical 6. And I do a quick mental check. I can't break up 6 into a product of two numbers, one of which is a perfect square. Its factors are just 6, 1, and 2 and 3. So this is as simplified as it gets. What's the length of leg AB? Well, it's 2 radical 6.